Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Garriott. I am a director specialist with Azure AI here at Microsoft. As you might have heard, we have this amazing partnership with OpenAI that we have now GPT-4o released. So I'm going to talk about a lot of things specific around generative AI today, and hopefully answer all of the questions and make this very relevant and useful for you. That was an excellent presentation from both of the other partners as well from Angelbeat, so I'm excited to be able to follow that. And please pop any questions in the webinar chat that we can address while we're talking here. So I'll move forward here into the first thing that we definitely want to communicate, which is that Microsoft Azure runs on trust. Your data is your data. Your data from any fine tuning is not used to train any other AI foundational models except for the ones that are in your subscription. And your data is protected by the most comprehensive enterprise compliance and security controls in the industry. And so that is something that we really want to underscore as we proceed through this conversation because it's key to everything that we do. Your data is your data. Generative AI is a game changer, and now it's all about implementation. Even 6 months ago, Gen AI wasn't exactly rolling off the tip of everyone's tongues, except for everyone here at Angelbeat, obviously, but its impact has become undeniable. Any organization can build AI systems today that generate content for us on demand, produce exponential efficiencies, and inspire entirely new products and services. It's no longer a question of if or when to implement Gen AI, but how. Microsoft and OpenAI, I love this slide because it's best friends, right? We have collaborated together to form an incredible partnership in the artificial intelligence community. The partnership aims to accelerate the development of advanced AI systems and bring the benefits of AI to more people. And as part of the partnership, Microsoft and OpenAI have agreed to work together on several key areas, including developing AI technologies, building an AI supercomputing platform, advancing AI research, making AI more accessible, and also bringing all of their models through onto the enterprise platform of Microsoft Azure. And so what that basically means is that Microsoft is a fast follow to OpenAI, even in some cases with GPT-4o releasing on the same day as OpenAI did, to create the experience for our customers of being able to use those cutting-edge Gen AI LLMs inside of an enterprise-grade, trust and safety-oriented platform like Azure. Here at Microsoft, we've implemented Gen AI in Microsoft Copilot experiences to help every person in every workflow. Microsoft Copilot, as well as GitHub, LinkedIn, and even Xbox, have all been built with the same Azure AI services and tools that we offer to builders. We're one of our biggest Azure AI customers, and with this, we're consistently pressure testing the highest possible performance and efficiencies at scale. And what's most exciting for us is to see how our customers bring Gen AI to their own apps with their own data. The customization is frankly limitless. There are so many exciting Gen AI use cases popping up across every industry, but we continue to see these 5 most frequently. And what inspires us about all of these examples is how they're rooted in unmet user needs. We see customers realizing impact by 1, giving employees instant access to troves of knowledge to be better at their jobs. We see customers, number 2, turning call centers into value centers, where representatives not only receive on-the-job training, but positive encouragement. We're seeing a lot of, number 3, custom copilots coming in different shapes and sizes to bring AI assistance to experiences that are both internal and customer-facing. The big question is, where are the pain points? And where is the old technology getting in the way? And what can AI bring things together to really supercharge productivity? Reasoning, tailoring, hyper-personalization, these things are all the types of use cases that we're seeing across the industry, and we're happy to talk further about this if you have specific questions. No matter what your use case, though, Azure AI has you covered. Our AI portfolio encompasses Azure AI Studio, which is the development hub for building Gen AI solutions. And you can dive into that now at ai.azure.com. And I'll post that link in the chat when we're done. Within the studio, you'll also find Azure AI services like Azure OpenAI Service and Azure AI Search, giving you pre-trained APIs so you can get to production faster. We also offer Azure Machine Learning for advanced data science, custom model design, and full lifecycle management. This is really where the magic started. And through our vast model catalog, you'll gain access to the latest cutting-edge models, as well as model-as-a-service payment options that we'll cover in a bit here. And of course, the most powerful supercomputing system in the cloud, everything needed to run the most demanding complex AI projects used by OpenAI itself. And so for those of you that want to take a quick screenshot, right, And potentially, like, we'll obviously send out this presentation. This is a great slide of all of the Azure services that we have to offer here. And so again, we're happy to dive into anything on this stack if there's any questions about it. It's what customers are achieving with Azure AI that drives us every day. The momentum, even just over the past year in the Azure OpenAI service since it came to market, is truly incredible. 53,000 organizations are using Azure AI. More than 50% of the Fortune 500 companies in the world are on Azure OpenAI service. And they've seen a 150% increase in work output with Azure AI, speaking to the efficiency of AI at scale. So how do we implement generative AI? All of that background slide, those are great stuff, but how do we really implement generative AI? So in Azure, we want to break it down into 4 core dimensions. The best Gen AI experiences: number 1, evaluate models carefully. Number 2, they ground them in experiences and the data that differentiates them. Number 3, they tackle risk proactively and take every precaution that they possibly can. And number 4, they think bigger about the processes and people who keep AI investments going over time. And that's what we'll sort of dive into here very briefly, but dive into each of these little points throughout the rest of the presentation. So first, let's start with model choice. Our customers often ask us what models are right for them. The truth is, one model doesn't fit all, and sometimes more than one model is needed to achieve a desired result. We're seeing more customers prioritize model evaluation, and we're designing our products to support the benchmarking and monitoring that empowers this. It's not enough just to offer the most models. It's about having the right tools in one place to assess, optimize, and adjust as needed. From content generation to multimodality and fine-tuning, Azure AI can help you map your vision to the optimal capabilities. Everyone is on a different journey, which is why we're focused on making such sophisticated technology as easy as possible. There's been more model innovation than we can even do justice for on this slide, but you can already see the breadth and depth of Azure, specifically build capabilities across model families, multimodality, fine-tuning, and content generation. Mistral and Deci AI, for example, these are amazing families of open source models that bring an inspiring global lens to the space. And we have them available through, I missed the slide here. We have them available through our AI Studio model as a platform. And so that's an amazing part of AI Studio, which again, if anyone is curious about it, you can basically turn on these models as a service, so our model as a service capability, and be able to use them basically with the click of a button. So next, let's look at experience quality here. So we're hearing more and more from customers that not only the data preparation for AI is important, but activating it within applications is super, super important. Generative AI almost doesn't work without retrieval augmented generation, also known as RAG, and hopefully you've heard of RAG at this point. If not, please pop it in the chat and we can go over briefly what it is at the end. But it's really only with RAG that we get accurate, relevant responses from Gen AI interactions that are contextual to us, our jobs, and what we need to know. And there are multiple ways to achieve this, but it doesn't need to be complicated. Azure AI Search can achieve any RAG strategy right out of the box. Everything about search is changing, and we love this slide because it's about improving our relationship with software. We've left mechanical programmatic input-output dynamics behind, and we're forging ahead in natural interactions that feel incredibly, well, frankly, incredible. It's really RAG strategies behind it all. The experiences we keep coming back to in this new era will be precisely tailored to our data, our prompts, and our flows. Not all data is information, and not all information is useful. And it's Azure AI Search that can stitch this together and serve up what's most meaningful to your users. We're determined so much to make retrieval cool because it matters so, so much. Within retrieval augmented generation, there are many ways you can bring the best information to your users. And from an Azure perspective, vector search, hybrid search, and semantic ranking are 3 techniques that we're seeing make a world of difference. Whether you know the techniques you want to apply or you're assessing which route to go, Azure AI Search makes this essential layer of the Gen AI stack easier. So now let's move into trust and what this means to us. As with any innovation, there are risks, but Microsoft and Azure are known for well balancing these transformational changes with a cautious compass. From our most careful customers to our most bullish customers, they all recognize the stakes are higher today. Trust is really about identifying what could go wrong, getting in front of it, and Azure AI tackles this comprehensively. As generative AI becomes an intrinsic aspect of digital life, safety is innovation. Protections in tech have historically been perceived as a barrier to user delight, seamlessness, and convenience, but today it's the very opposite. It's content and safety that enables generative AI to advance in a positive direction. And to mitigate harm, our most successful customers take a multi-layered approach, and they experiment and measure a lot. From beginning of the model development to the safety system, the meta prompt and the grounding through user experience, Azure AI covers every layer between model, safety system, meta prompt, grounding, and user experience. Total trust to us is responsible and safety, security, privacy, and compliance. There's a lot that goes into building, deploying, and maintaining enterprise-class solutions with Gen AI infused. What makes Azure AI platform special is its ability to bring cutting-edge models and services together with everything needed for cutting-edge safety. Everything you need to mitigate risk throughout the AI development process is in the Azure AI Studio. And with Microsoft's copyright commitment for Azure OpenAI service, we'll also have your back legally. So finally, it all comes back to the AI lifecycle. So let's close out with a bit about how Microsoft operationalizes AI and how you can too. I also did a whole talk on this, operationalization and LLMOps on the previous Angelbeat. So if y'all take a look at the archives, you can get a much more detailed on this one. But I really wanted to cover just the brief aspects of it this time. Large language models have changed what software is capable of and how we build it. And as LLM-based applications experiences transform the way we do business, there are new considerations for the people and processes that make it work. This amazing AI moment in history is turning a corner, moving from pilot mentalities to enduring scalable strategies. And with more organizations thinking about their AI investments in the big picture, this is where operations shines. LLM operations, or LLMOps, enables the real-time collaborative impact we see setting customers like Siemens apart. Before LLMs entered the scene, AI was programmed into applications more mechanically, quote, if this, then that, right? And as we look back, this was very rigid. As more LLMs launch and continue to evolve, developer teams can integrate their project design, model development, and operations to continually improve an app experience. The organic interactions Gen AI makes possible today call for a more fluid workflow behind the scenes, taking a full lifecycle approach between looking at the business need, ideating and exploring a hypothesis, finding the right LLMs, building and augmented through prompt engineering, fine-tuning, evaluation, and RAG architectures, to operationalization, right? Monitoring safe rollout, understanding and managing costs, and understanding content filtering. We have applications and products that address every one of these things. So if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. At Microsoft, LLMOps is the backbone of our own AI strategy. And I personally love how Microsoft has taken its productivity experience and passion for dev tooling to make AI as efficient as possible. So today in Azure AI Studio, you can start implementing full lifecycle management using AI prompt flow. And what prompt flow does is it enables continual refinement of your Gen AI apps through prompt engineering. And like we talked about earlier, Azure AI content safety is integrated into this experience along with responsible AI guidance that Microsoft pioneered. Okay, so we've made it. We've talked about model choice, selecting the right models for your use case, experience quality, building high-quality LLM-based applications, total trust, innovating confidently on top of data privacy, security, compliance, and critical content safeguards, and streamline life cycles, operationalize and scale the management of your Gen AI apps as they evolve over time. So what are your use cases? I'd love to read some in the chat if anyone has any, feels like sharing. We can turn data into on-the-job learning. We can support people to feel better at their jobs and reduce turnover. We can leverage drudgery behind and supercharge creativity. Azure AI has everything you need to build exceptional Gen AI experiences and to help your organization unlock its repeatable value over time. Azure AI Studio is in public preview. Definitely check it out after this at ai.azure.com. You'll find all of the products and features we covered today, the model catalog, model as a service, Azure OpenAI service, Azure AI search, Azure AI content safety, and Azure AI prompt flow inside of that. And I'll take just a minute here to send everyone the link, ai.azure.com. We want to know what you're most interested in learning. So just let us know which products pique your interest. Also, we want to leave you with a few key resources. Our AI in a Minute video shares a series that is great to share with your internal stakeholders who are still learning what Gen AI is. We talked a lot about Azure AI Studio today, so let us know how it's feeling. And if you haven't already signed up for Azure OpenAI service, you can do that today by applying for it at that link. And I'll send all this out to Ron as a follow-up in the presentation. So, Ron, is there a couple more minutes? I know we're running short on time. I'd love to go over what's new in Azure AI. Just a couple of slides there, but I want to pause
Sure.
there and just make sure.
Yeah, we've got a couple. Why don't we do that for 2 more minutes?
Sweet.
Let me point out what our objective here at Angelbeat is. It's such a unique opportunity. We heard originally from AWS, great content from Chris. Eddie from Google is going to give you his perspective. What we want to do is make sure all of you understand the strategies, the safeguards, some of the unique capabilities, because as I mentioned, this is not like Kubernetes where you can run your Kubernetes workloads seamlessly across any cloud. There are some unique characteristics of each platform, and we encourage everyone, especially as Chris alluded to, it's not a question of when, but now how. We want to make sure all of you are making informed decisions. All right, Chris, let's have a couple of minutes of new stuff, and then we'll get in to the final two sessions.
Sure. So if you haven't heard, we just celebrated our 1 year anniversary with Azure OpenAI service, and the pace of innovation has been super exciting. The latest models include GPT-4o, GPT-4 Turbo, and GPT-4 Turbo with Vision. They're all available in preview except for GPT-4o, which is now in GA. And the DALL-E 3 and Whisper models are now also GA. We recently added support for the Assistance API to make it easier for developers to create high-quality Copilot-like experiences within their own applications. And we're turning on preview for Batch API, which is super freaking cool. Fine-tuning for GPT-4, configurable content filters for DALL-E and GPT-4 Turbo, integration with Azure Communication Services for WhatsApp, which is really interesting, and video translation. So and the one thing that I didn't mention, which is also incredibly cool, which is Phi 3 small language model general availability, which also has now the availability to fine tune. So Phi 3 is super cool. It's produced by Microsoft. It's an SLM that's like incredibly fast, super cheap, really good to use in a multi LLM strategy. And yeah, GPT-4 also GPT-4o with global deployments. So these are just some of the things that are new on top of AI Studio, which I talked a bunch about. If you have any questions about this, I'm happy to run through any of these as a one-on-one. This is my like sort of drop the mic slide here because GPT-4o is far and above the coolest like LLM and general GA model that we've got and that OpenAI has released to date. Text, audio, and vision input, text output right now eventually will be multimodal on the output. 2 times faster than GPT-4 Turbo, 5 times more throughput, and 50% cheaper. It's amazing. So we have the like far and above best model right now available on the platform. And this one is super cool. I encourage all of you to try it out. It's been giving amazing results. I was working with a customer the other day. We were literally like just dumping engineering model schematics into GPT-4o, and it was analyzing them and telling us all of the like key things, including where it was broken. And so that was pretty impressive. So yeah, that's what I'll end on. Happy to turn it over at this point. Thank you all for your attention and for coming to the presentation today, and I look forward to answering any questions.